Welcome, everyone. This is Araceli from Build Wealth with Araceli. And as you know, I invest in the US, so I'm a Canadian, and I invest in the US just because of the prices. However, I like to interview many different investors so they can give me their take on their investing, what is working for them, where they're located, what they do, how they do it, right? And today I have something very interesting. I'm very excited because in the last few weeks, I have been interviewing a lot of US investors because that's kind of my natural market there, right? But now I'm so happy to have Nicholas and Olivia here. They are Canadian. They're from New Brunswick, and they're real estate investors. They're having a little bit of a different spin on real estate investing, which is the rent to own. So, Nicholas and Olivia, can you introduce yourself? Tell me where you're from and why. What are you doing in New Brunswick, and how you got started in real estate?
Thank you so much for the warm welcome. We really appreciate it. And it's such a pleasure to be here with you on this
Great.
wonderful platform. So, originally, I'm from Nigeria, but I currently reside in New Brunswick, Canada. So, by virtue of location, I'm Canadian. And I met Olivia 2 years ago back in Ontario before we relocated from Ontario to New Brunswick for investment purposes. So, right now, we've been into the rent to own investment for about just under 2 years,
Mm-hmm.
the 2 years. And it's been a very interesting journey so far. And it's been just like every other investment has its ups and downs. It's
Absolutely.
always very rewarding to be able to help Canadians achieve their dreams of home ownership. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what we pride ourselves.
Absolutely, especially now, I'm going to ask a little bit about the prices in New Brunswick because I don't know if you've been following what is happening here in Ontario, specifically in
Mhm.
the GTA, all the Toronto area. The prices have increased tremendously. It's very hard to get into a property, right? But
Mhm.
before we go there, we're going to let Olivia introduce herself, tell us how they came about doing this together.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm Olivia. I was born and raised in Ontario, and then we ended up moving out to New Brunswick about 2 years ago because we were interested in learning more about investing in this market. So we were very interested in the multifamily space, and then we came across rent to own. And what we really loved about rent to own is the fact that, like you said, home prices just keep going up in Canada, and we are able to help Canadians to still get into homeownership. So that's really rewarding for us. So we've been doing the rent to own space as well as the multifamily space, and it's been great so far. We have loved it, loved doing it. We actually work with rent to own throughout Canada, but mainly we get majority of our clients in Alberta, we find.
Oh, really? Wow,
Yeah.
that's interesting. So tell me, what is the price point in comparison to Toronto? Because if there's anybody that is interested from the Ontario market to go and work with you guys in New Brunswick, what is the price comparison? Give me just an example.
So St. John, New Brunswick is the cheapest city in Canada to purchase a home. You can definitely get homes here still for under 300,000. Yeah, and I would
And
say
is that a single family home?
yes,
Oh,
yeah,
wow, that's incredible.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So right now, the average price point for a single family home roughly is about between $275,000 to 300, roughly, for average single family home, 3 bedroom, two washroom. And it's definitely night and day when you compare it to the
Absolutely. Like,
Toronto market. So yes.
I have no idea what happened. I tell you guys, when I bought my first investment property here in Ontario, in Hamilton, I bought my first house for 182,000, and it was a struggle trying to get to buy it, right? And the houses just went so crazy. Right now, this property is appraised to about 800,000. And it's in less than 10 years. And it's just crazy. Like, and then when it comes down to, for me now, it's great because obviously the appreciation, but to get in the market, then that's when it becomes a challenge. And to continue to buy, it really becomes a challenge. So the price point seems incredible in there. Now, so I'm just going to ask you this because not everybody and not all viewers know exactly what rent to own is. Can you give me an idea? So anybody that is maybe thinking, oh, what is rent to own, right?
Yeah. So rent to own is an alternative form of homeownership. So to put it into perspective, so say Bob and Billy went to the banks to qualify for a traditional mortgage. Now, just like every traditional mortgage, you need a couple of key factors. You need a good income, you need a good credit score, and you need to have like a stable job to show the banks you can keep up with the payments. And when Bob and Billy approached the bank said, oh, we can't give you a credit, we can't give you a mortgage because your credit score is low and you just recently got discharged from a collection or a consumer proposal. So you need at least maybe 2 years to have or establish 24 months of good payment history before you can apply for a mortgage. So those are the kind of people we look to help or look to work with to help achieve their dreams of homeownership because they have been rejected by the banks for a traditional mortgage.
So this is very interesting to point out because this is an alternative way for you to buy a home without having to qualify with your credit in case that you don't have credit or you have bruised credit, right?
Yes.
So this is very important for people to know because sometimes they don't even know until they go and apply for a mortgage and now you're not qualified because you haven't been looking at your credit and it's all over the place or non-existent at all. And I think that's what is one of the very first things that people need to look into is their finances. That's what my background is. And I know how challenging it is and how people, because it's out of sight. They don't know that it's going to affect them in the long term. And everybody at some point is going to qualify for any type of loan, whether it's a mortgage, even like a car loan or a student loan, anything, but probably no student loan. But I mean, anything that has to be with a large purchase, your credit is going to be looked at. And it's so important. But in that case, so this provides an alternative for you to be able to buy a property. And that is incredible. So how do you start finding these people? Do you advertise? What do you do?
So we do a lot of different types of methods to get clients. So we will do a lot of marketing through Facebook, Google, things like that, as well as we work with a referral system. So we work with different realtors and mortgage brokers who will refer clients to us because they'll often come across clients who don't qualify, who are ready to purchase a home. So they'll refer them to us and then we work with them to help them get into home ownership.
Well, how about after they have purchased the home? What does the contract look like? Like, is it 2 year, 3 year, 5 year? What does it look like?
So for the rent to own program, it's anywhere between 2 to 4 years. Most people on average are about 3. But if they just need a little bit of help 2, and if they need a bit more, then 4.
Now, do they have any help in order to get prepared to qualify for their mortgage?
Yes, that's a very good point you mentioned because one of the key things is having a good credit score. So definitely we have a power team in-house that we work with when the client gets into the program. So there's something we have in-house. It's more like a credit rehabilitation plan whereby we identify the problem that prevented them from getting a mortgage in the first place. And we work with them throughout the rent-own program to ensure that they're able to repair and rehabilitate whatever delinquency that was present on the credit bureau report that prevented them to get a mortgage in the first place. So yes, we work with them hand in hand. That's why it's very important for us to have people that have the right mindset and are coachable because it's a habit that they are used to, but we're looking to correct it. So yes.
Exactly. Our habits really take us where, we want to, where we are, right? And it continues to do that. So now the reason that I ask you that is because for people that have known about rent to own, sometimes they think it's a scam, that they get you into it, that you're going to lose your money and you're not going to be prepared. And this has been done by some people that they didn't really take care of the portion after the closing, which is basically making sure that the people are actually getting prepared, that they're doing what they're supposed to do to be able to qualify, to increase their credit score, and to qualify, to put all the pieces in place that they were missing in the first place, right?
Yes.
To be able to qualify. So this is very important to know because, rent to own got a little bit of a bad rep because of that. And we want to make sure that when people are doing it, they have the support moving forward, because this is not a one-time thing. It's like recovers, alcoholics, right? Like
rehab,
they continue to do it, right? And the thing is, we are like that. All humans are like that. And if we don't put things in place, things don't happen. So I really, really like the way that you're doing this, because then you are ensuring this success. Because otherwise you're not a success if they are not able to close, right? Unless there is obviously a really big circumstance that happened. I understand sometimes some contracts will not close, but it is important, I think, that if you are going to put this type of strategy in place, that there's a strategy to follow up, right? So is there anything else that you want to mention, Olivia, about, what you're finding in your clients and how they're actually able to close, things like that?
So when we're looking for clients, we definitely do a lot of thorough background checks and a lot of conversations with them at the beginning. So we do reference checks, employer checks, things like that, as well as we'll have a lot of conversations with them to make sure that they have the right mindset. We want to work with people who are coachable, who are going to be successful, who have the right mindset going into this program, because we have to protect our investors. We have to protect the clients. We want only people in who are going to be successful. So we do a lot of vetting before we even let people into the program. We've actually had people will turn away just because they don't have the right mindset for the program, because at the end, we want everything to go as smooth as possible for everyone involved.
Of course, you don't really want to get, because I think that integrity and reputation is all there is in real estate. So if you do one thing wrong for somebody, everybody will know, and then your business is not going to go anywhere. So that is incredible. I really like that. So is there anything else that you want to tell the audience? Like if somebody wants to kind of get into the rent to own as a real estate investment strategy, what would you say to them?
Okay. That's a wonderful question. So the rent to own investment has two moving pieces to it. So there is a tenant buyer side, that's clients that are looking to get into a home. And there is the joint venture side, which is people like JV partners or individuals that want to invest in real estate and use and put their resources like mortgageability and down payment into good use. So on the tenant buyer side, if you are currently looking to get into a home, but you've been having a challenge, or you're looking to relocate from province to another province, definitely be of help to you, because we're currently working with a family right now looking to relocate from BC to Alberta just to get into a home. So that's how things work on the tenant buyer side. And if you probably also are a business owner that has not been able to get a mortgage, because with the banks, they always tell you need to have at least maybe 2 years of sales and all that. So if you're in that category, please feel free to reach out to us. We're more than happy to actually work with you, get to know you better, and see how we can actually make things work. Then on the JV partner side, we definitely are open to working with partners that are looking to put their resources to good use and also make an impact while doing that, because rent own is all about making the lives of families better while making good returns on your investment. So if you're looking to partner with us, we definitely have a lot of deals in the pipeline and we definitely are always on the lookout for like-minded individuals that are looking to make a positive impact in the world. So definitely those are the two moving parts, and those are the two kinds of people we're looking to attract and work with. Yes.
But now the question here is, do you think that this strategy works in every market?
So it really depends on the market. The great thing is with the rent to own, we only buy houses that are in a 30,000 plus population that are 3-bedroom, 2-washroom at least, really family homes that we know we will be able to resell and sell back to the tenant buyers at a good price. So of course, there's always times the market go up and down, but with rent to own, there is flexibility with things like the length of the program and things like that can actually help to always ensure that the person is able to get a mortgage for the amount you're selling the home back to them for.
Yeah, that's very true. And to add up to what you said, rent to own does not work in every market.
Okay.
It's specific, and the reason why I say that is, for example, in the Toronto market or markets around that neighborhood, it would be very hard. Very hard, right? It's impossible because you're dealing with hundreds of thousands in prices of homes, and you're looking to get clients that have the required income to support that, which is often a challenge. So yes, rent own does not work in all markets.
Yeah.
Yes. So this is for the audience, right? The question that I ask is specifically because they say, okay, I'm just going to turn around and start doing rent to own here in Toronto, right? No, you have to really understand, and this is with every strategy, right?
Yes.
Where is it specifically working, either for what kind of properties or what kind of location, what kind of price point? What is the final user looking for to do and able to do financially, so you can actually market that particular property so it works for you, because it has to give you some returns, right? So
exactly. And with rent to own too, you have to make sure that the contracts are really structured in proper ways. You track things properly so that the bank will give a mortgage at the end of the program. So it is like there's a lot of moving parts to it. So it is something you want to be really careful with if you're going out to just start it, that you have all the right legal contracts and everything in place to ensure the person is set up to actually be able to qualify at the end of the program too.
Oh, that's a really good point. And thank you for letting me know, because this is important. And this is with everything in real estate, right? Real estate is like a puzzle, and each one of the strategies has different little things that if you miss something, then the whole thing just collapses and it's just not going to work, right? So it is very important that if you ever wanted to kind of get it started, whether it's, you're doing it yourself or partnering, that you go with somebody that is already doing it successfully. And so, Nicholas and Olivia have done it. I really encourage you to contact them and just have a conversation with them if this is something that you've been thinking about, whether as an investor or as somebody that wants to get into a home as a tenant buyer, right?
Correct. Yeah, thank you for that. To add to your point, sorry to cut you, to allude to the previous point you mentioned, whereby rent to own, personally speaking, or as a business, we definitely come across people that say rent own is a scam. To be honest, rent own is not a scam. It is just not done in the right way by some businesses. So what we always encourage people to do is, we're not saying we are the only rent own companies out there, but before you decide to work with any rent own company, make sure you seek legal advice, because that's something we highly recommend on our end before anyone signs any contract. Seek legal advice so you have an idea of what you're getting into before you sign on the dotted lines, because we've come across a lot of people that reach out to us and be like, we're currently in a rent-own agreement and we're not able to execute at the end of the term. So can you please step in and continue with the new rent-own contract to rescue me from my current predicament? And when we go through the contracts, we're like, this was not set up in the right way. There was no way you would execute or be successful in this. So it's very important, very, very important to to make sure you seek legal advice. And from my experience, majority of the times this contract was wrongly set up was when the landlord created the contract in his bedroom, the piece of paper and all that, and gave it to the tenant.
Yeah.
Most of the time, that's what we've seen. And definitely that's a situation that highly is very disadvantageous to the tenant, which is not cool. Yeah.
Oh, that is too bad. Well, that is what is important. And what I always tell people, do your due diligence. That is the one thing that we always recommend in real estate for anything, whether you are going to partner with somebody, you're going to hire a coach, you're going to get into any kind of transaction.
Yes.
Please do your due diligence. And this would look very different for everybody, but make sure that you talk to people that have worked with, for example, for Nicholas and Olivia, that, okay, so are they really know what they're doing? You know, do they get you into a home, things like that. So that it's amazing what you guys are doing. And by the way, all of Nicholas and Olivia's information will be in the comment below, so you can get a hold of them if this is something that interests you. And if you do have a question in regards to rent to own or anything to do about real estate, please let me know so we can put something specifically, because that's what we're looking for. We're trying to give you value so you can make a proper decision when you are doing any type of transaction, and also to show you that there's not only one way to do real estate. So there's many ways to do it.
Right.
Well, I really appreciate you being here.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, this was very interesting conversation, knowing that in Canada, we still have places that we can invest.
Yes.
Make money. Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you so much. And we will see you in the next time, okay?
Thank you so much for having us on. We really appreciate your time. And also, thank you so much once again. Yeah.
You're welcome. We'll see you soon.
Yeah, bye for now.